And I always liked LA. I had relatives there. Anyway, so that's basically it. Did you get me the job selling light bulbs? That job over the
I got you a job construction and the gay
You got me a
porno.
job. It's my
Gay porno.
we all played extras.
That's right.
Played extras.
And you were the cashier or something, right? What were you?
I was a secretary.
He wanted her to go.
City
But
trucking
listen to
company,
this.
can I
He
help
directs
you?
her and he says, I want you to walk in and you see your boyfriend with another guy. And Lisa's like, what? And then you're supposed to react
And this was
sexually.
in a big studio in LA.
And it was a
This
big
was
studio,
like a
and he
scene
said,
play.
you'll be like the secretary, and then all of a sudden you see your boyfriend getting it on with another guy, and you're like, oh, this looks interesting. And she said, no, I can't do it. So we're filming, and Steve and I kept yelling,
No, we're doing extras in a bar scene.
Lisa
They needed-
Weinstock from
they needed
Earlville, Pennsylvania. And she was like, no, don't say that. It's called, what was the movie called?
Kansas City Trucking.
Kansas, if you want to see Lisa's
Trucking.
extra.
Kansas City Trucking. We were just
Trucking company.
in a bar scene. Is this being filmed?
Yeah.
This is not going to know.
Private, it's private.
This
Just
is not gonna But yes, Marty is and always was. I mean, just the
Sounds like
biggest
I'm
heart.
dying or something.
Yeah.
It's your pre-eulogy.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, and then so what happened is life moved on. Steve left to go to dental school. I stayed in LA. Marty came back to Canada. And we all led our separate lives. And one day, they stayed in touch a little bit. And then one day, I thought, gee, I wonder what's going on with Marty. And got on Facebook. I reached out to him. And we started talking. I said, I'll come visit you. You know, I'll come in the fall. And that's it. I booked a ticket. Next thing I know, Steve calls. He goes, guess what? I'm coming too.
Whoa.
And then the next thing,
I said I couldn't because of the opening, but
And
I
I
got
even
bumped.
said, I said, she's going to be so busy. You know, how could Linda come? And then Marty said, guess what? She's coming. And it was like, so we have so many memories. And, you know, everybody in this room, Marty is very, very special. But anybody who knows Marty also has to be very special.
correct.
Or else you wouldn't be in this room.
That's
right?
That's
Because
exactly right. Lisa.
Marty only likes people with good hearts and good souls.
And big wallets. Oh, sorry, Mateo.
I'm the exception.
Oh, yeah.
Right, so let's give credit to everybody in this room.
Yeah.
In addition to Marty pulling us all together, always pulling people together, and an amazing, and I'm lucky, you know, that I have met you, and that we have we've rekindled, and we won't ever, you know, break apart again. So,
Beautiful, beautiful. Thanks, please.
You're
Thank you.
Okay, so not a eulogy.
Yeah.
When I say, and Bernardo, you might help me with this too, because Bernardo opened one of our restaurants in Guadalajara, in Tuesday. But I give credit to you three and others from the early days for forging the personality of our company. It goes first to David O, the boss, my boss that hired me. He hired me, I'm not a baker, he hired me to test recipes at the bakery with his mother. I invited him to a party, he liked my cooking. He said, can you come test recipes? I'm not a cook. I'm not a cook. And he said, well, it's okay, you know, I'll give you the recipes, we'll just find them and whatever. Well, I said, sure, why not? I was in between jobs, $3.35 an hour. I was very proud. And I worked with Oscar and Evelyn, his parents, in the bakery in California before the first restaurant. But David knew how to pick interesting, smart, fun, and funny people with hearts, not unlike this man. So I was fun and funny, and I had fun baking, and I loved his mother, and I loved him, and we had a great time. In that year, he was creating the first restaurant, which was Cheesecake Factory Beverly Hills. And he gathered the most bizarre group of people, motley group of people who could, some could cook, Henry could certainly cook, Troy could certainly cook. We had a couple of cooks on the line that could cook, broiler cook, but the rest of us were just, tell me what you want us to do. We didn't know, but we had fun and we were hardworking and earnest people, always with the personality. So Marty, of course, king. David allowed our personalities to be in the restaurant, really.
It was the genesis of the Cheesecake Factory.
It really was. And we could have been a professional, completely professional. I was the watchdog. I grew into HR and so on, and I became the mean one to keep us honest and safe from the law. But the personality started with all our crazy early people. These three, the antics, the stuff that went on, we've shared some of Marty's stories, but the cohorts were just total craziness. And it did forge that personality at that restaurant. We allow it today, and I think it's helped our success. I agree with Lisa. You surround yourself with great people. I include myself in that and everybody in this room. Fun people, interesting people, always with hearts. I want to bounce over to this young man who has supported you and been your friend for years, who I adore as much as this guy, who's always that silent strength behind, who cooked a truckload of food, picks us up, drives us around, never complains to me anyway. I know you complain to him sometimes, but not to
Not
us.
much.
We love you as much as this young man, and we thank you
Yes.
too, Mateo. Thank you.
Yeah.
Welcome to
Yeah.
Marty.
Yay, Mateo!
Thank you all. Hey,
Okay.
there's a lot of food there, and I think we should eat some.
Okay, I just want to say
Marty,
something.
I know you want to say.
Okay, I'll say it on the end
Just
here.
warning you.
Unless anybody else, okay, we.
No, I have, before you say that, one little footnote.
Yeah.
Last night, I was supposed to
Oh,
stay
yeah.
in the building, in the guest room. So this gives you an idea of Mateo, who I just met. I heard about him, I had an idea how unbelievable he was. So he said, I'll stay with him. I said, okay, fine. So I go into a room which I perceive as the guest room, right? He's gonna go into his room. There's nothing, so don't get excited. It's not going to be
Nothing we know.
the stroke of midnight. So then when I get up in the morning, I see him sleeping on the couch. And I'm thinking, what are you doing? There's another bedroom, which is not furnished right now. He gave me his bed to sleep.
Yeah, bless
That's
you.
late at night after he helped me with my phone that wasn't working right. And it was late at night, we spent time on that. To give a stranger he just met his bed.
No, he's hard.
Okay, anyway, go ahead.
Okay, I'll say it quickly, if I can. I'm really pleased that everybody's here, and it's really, we've been so excited to have everybody here, and I know, the big reason, like a part of it was because I also couldn't travel and come and for us to meet in California. I didn't think that Linda would come, and and then Lisa and Steve. We went to Costco, but we had so much fun. It was like the old days. I was riding around the car, screaming, yelling to people. And all I can say is that I've come a long way in a year because a lot of people love me. Gloria and Avram and Julius and especially Mateo too, and Lorena too, and Eddie, who have taken me out of the darkness and into light, and constantly there. I was so afraid of dialysis and afraid when we had the powwow, which turned into sort of a
Intervention.
I said I don't want an intervention, but as I walked away, I thought, I got to do something because I'm going to die. And when you realize you're going to die and that's the end, it's very scary. So I never thought in a million years that Linda and Lisa and Steve would be here with all old friends. And we all go back, Gloria and I go back 50 years, and Julius and I go back 50 years. 50 years, we think, that's a lifetime of thing. My cousin Robbie, who's always there with everything.
She only goes back 40 years.
Pardon?
She only goes back 40 years.
Okay, 40 years. And we've made good
Julius
friends.
goes back 50 years.
Julius goes back 50 years. And
Well, it's
Susie-
55 years.
Susie and Les.
No, it's 50 years, yeah.
And Bernardo, 2 weeks.
And Bernardo.
Hey, I gotta start somewhere.
Exactly. We met actually, and I said, I gotta tell you, he says, I work Cheesecake Factory. I said, you know what, my friend Linda worked there. He said, I know Linda. I said, you gotta come and cook for her and she'll see you again and you can talk Spanish to her. So I'm thankful that everybody's here as we look around the room, and Avram's on his way, and especially Mateo, who comes every Saturday.
Hi, how are you, Marty?
Let him in.
Hi, Marty.
Come in.
Oh, he's actually here.
Is he really? Open the door.
Who's that, Avram?
Where is he?
I don't know.
Hello?
Are you just
They're pulling your leg.
Oh, he's late. Anyways, Mateo, who comes in, every Saturday, and we have our muffins or our croissants together, and then we always go for dinner. So I'm very thankful, especially Gloria, who was, when I was starving to death, she'd be making me meatballs and every kind. She still makes those meatballs. And I keep thinking about. Called her. I said, Gloria, I'm so hungry, I can't eat. She tried soup. She tried meatballs. And anyways, and Julius, who just did the video about getting me a kidney.
Yes.
And it's pretty potent, and did 4 versions of it. So life goes on, and what a great memory to have this moment. We had 2 years ago with Linda. It was so special.
Yeah, we had Thanksgiving.
And,
You've had my parents here. We've
Yes,
come
we
to
had your-
stay, to visit.
Oh.
The 2 of you have come to visit. We had lots of years and years.
Yeah,
fun,
years of things.
Crazy memories.
And Lisa reappears from something we don't even.
Who
Who
knew?
knew?
She heard there was food.
What's 40 years between friends?
Yeah.
She says she's going to go back to Florida, and they're going to say, "What'd you do?" I ate and I shopped.
Yeah.
I guess we should eat, and I want to thank everybody. Anyways, I think I caught everybody, and our new friend, and imagine.
Hi, Marty, how are you?
I said, oh, Alan, I keep forgetting. Yeah, I think of you as a team.
I don't have a name, I'm known.
No, Alan, I think of you as
Robbie's husband.
Robbie's husband, who's more than a cousin, more like a friend, and I always think of them together, so I guess I should think of them as a separate unit, but Alan's always been there with support and fun, and his crazy jokes, and we've been through many a time together with Alan and Robbie, and just, I guess I always just think of them as so much together and everything, but we have so many memories that, and believe it or not, after 20 years of separation, my sister and I finally talked.
Oh, it's crazy.
Isn't that crazy? 20 years, and she talked to her son, who she hadn't spoken to in 15 years.
Wow.
So the husband died, and he's not saying the prayer for the dead anymore.
Isn't that crazy?
And Gay is different.
Yeah.
And thank you, Alan.
Okay, wait, before you finish, I just want to get Steve back on video, so I'm going to give you this camera, and I'm just going to recount the story, Steve. I think you were friends with Marty when he was living in that apartment with Linda Berry. Well, I'm going to recount the story. Tell me if this is right or wrong.
Well, then there was Linda Brewster,
So
too.
that's a different one. Marty, to show you the kind of fun that Marty is, Marty invites me over to the apartment on Spadina, and it's a dinner for 4 guys. There's you, I think Linda Berry might have been there, and Marty, and he invites me for this dinner. I'm so excited, and then I could smell the chicken. It smelled fantastic. And he brings out this big, remember this? He brings out this big oven, chicken oven. Well, the baker puts it on the table. And he says, everybody gets around. They put on the napkins and load up the beer. Ready. He lifts up the lid, and it's 3 chicken wings. For 4 people. And somebody goes, it's okay, I'm not that hungry, you guys enjoy. And we're all fighting, no, really, I wasn't that hungry either. We're having a big war. And it was the funniest little scene. And then we're all in the midst of it, he sort of sneaks away and comes up with the real pot of chicken and puts it up. I was there with them. And it was a tiny and if that's a hint of what went on at the Cheesecake Factory.
Oh my God, you have no idea. No idea.
But I want a little reflection from Glow.
Oh, but the other one, which Marty has been through many, many times, was Mrs.
Goldstein.
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 Can you do Mrs. Goldstein?
I called the restaurant. I said, hello. I want to go to the Cheesecake Factory. Yes, madam. I think David said. But you know what? That waiter is no good. Not good. That guy Marty, I didn't like him. What happened then, Linda?
Yes, and then sometimes you lost your social security check. He lost his social security check under the banquette.
That's right.
And the manager had to go in the middle of a busy Saturday night to look for his social security check, which was under. I'm sure it's there. I know you have to go. And then the poor manager in the middle of a Saturday night looking under the table, and it's this schmuck schmuck upstairs on the payphone.
But the best one, David said, I'll talk to him. He says, I'll have a word with him. He wasn't nice. He's not a nice man. Don't worry, ma'am, I'll talk. So a couple of years later, I was staying in LA, and Linda and David bought a wandering Jew, and they called it Mrs. Goldstein.
That's right. That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
So we should eat.
Oh my
Okay.
God. Those
Okay,
stories are
let's do more later, okay?
Okay.
To be continued.